Well, hi everybody. Doug Bench here with you. It's straight up 8 o'clock in the east. Talking with you tonight from beautiful north central Florida, where it's supposed to get down to 30-something tonight. This is Florida, right? About a week and a half ago, I got back from Colorado, and the weather in Colorado was warmer than it was up on the mountain than it was here in McIntosh, Florida. In fact, I'm looking at my cell phone weather right now. It's 55 here in McIntosh, Florida, and it's 52 on Blue Mountain in Lyons, Colorado. So topsy-turvy, isn't it? We all should just, well, maybe some of you are in the east. I was going to say we ought to thank our lucky stars we're not in the northeast of the United States, because that's a bazooka, pain in the bazooka. I saw on the news looking for ideas that they're covered in snow like crazy, like 6 or 7 feet of snow in Boston. My oldest son and wife and their 2 sons are in Bahaba, Maine, and they are just buried up there. Usually they don't get that much snow along the ocean there, but they are buried this year. Goodness sakes. Well, welcome everybody. We're going to talk about bankrolling your brain power tonight. Welcome you as a mastermind member of the Bankroll Your Brain Power team. And as I mentioned, this is Doug Bench. Tonight we're going to get back to some basics. But let me give you some basic information first. If you have a question, you got several choices. You can email me a question. I've got 2 computers going right now. One's on my email, which is doug@brainapples.com. You can send me your email questions there for the next hour. You can also, if it's a short question, you could text it to me. My cell phone is sitting here in front of me. My cell phone number is 352-562-5703. 352-562-5703. There's a chat box on here. Let me see if I don't have that open right now. I'll open that up. So if you have a quick question, you can put it in the chat there, and I'll try to answer it for everybody. Okay, let's see. What's happened since we were last together in January? Oh, doggone it. The Ohio State Buckeyes won the national championship. I'll be doggone. I just wanted to make sure you all knew that, seeing as how my oldest son and my daughter were Buckeyes, and me, Grandpa, I was a Buckeye for law, and even to this day, my daughter and her husband and 3 sons live in Dublin, Ohio, almost within earshot of the stadium there, and we were absolutely blessed. I probably mentioned it to you on the last Mastermind in January, because the last Mastermind was after the semifinal game on January 1st, but it was before the championship game, which was on the 12th, I think. But we were out at the ranch in Colorado, and we had 21 family members out there, all Buckeyes, of course, with my exception of my youngest son and my wife, which are Seminoles, but that's okay too. And man, did we have a blast watching the Buckeyes annihilate Alabama. That was something. Since our last Mastermind, I've had 2 speaking engagements, one down in Orlando, the other one not quite so close. Just got back 2 to 3 days ago from Dallas, Texas, where we presented our brain training information to a group of real estate investors. They were extremely interested in it. And then next week, I think it's the 19th, doggone it, it's a terrible thing, but somebody has to do it. I am going out to Honolulu, Hawaii, to speak at the Hawaii Wealth Summit. Hawaii Wealth Summit. And by the way, my path crosses quite often with Kevin Harrington. Now, if you don't know who Kevin Harrington is, Kevin Harrington was one of the consultants and co-creators of the TV show Shark Tank. In fact, occasionally he appears on that show as one of the millionaires. If you've never watched that, you got to watch it. It's extremely interesting to watch if you are interested in making money and coming up with money-making ideas and becoming an entrepreneur if you aren't already, which is what we're here to talk about. And Kevin and I met when we were both speaking at an event over in London, England, and realized that we've got some things going in the same direction. You know, I'm helping people train their brain to come up with money-making ideas, and he takes people's money-making ideas and turns them into money. And he's going to be out in Hawaii, so if you are on or in our mastermind group and you have an idea for a physical product, you must abso-freaking-lutely get me information about it so I can take it with me and plop it in front of Kevin. I'd be happy to do that. We've done that a couple times. One product he's working on for a plumber, as a matter of fact, and the other one he didn't think was a good money-making idea, and he knows his stuff. So if you have a physical product idea, get it to me. Let me tell you what's coming up, and then we'll get started with our going back to basics here tonight and answering your questions, of course. We have some live events coming up. I don't know where everybody's from on tonight's webinar, but on March the 7th, that's a Saturday, the first Saturday in March, we are having a Marketing for Millions live all-day seminar in West Palm Beach, Florida. If you are anywhere near West Palm Beach, because you're in the Bankroll Mastermind, you can go to that event for free. We're going to start marketing that to everybody else here, and their cost will be $47 for a group of up to 4, but because you're in the Bankroll Mastermind, you can bring up to 4 people for free. Starts at 9 o'clock. It's at the Embassy Suites Hotel on Belvedere, just off of I-95, 1601 Belvedere, I believe it is. We'll go from 9 till about 5. And of course, at a live setting, we get a chance to do some exercises. We get a chance to go into much more depth. But even one day isn't enough. Some of you realize that. Then on March the 14th, we have another one-day live Marketing for Millions in Ocala, Florida, just down the road here from me in Marion County at the Holiday Inn right by the interstate. So if you're anywhere near Ocala, Florida, mark your calendar, get to that event. Now, some of you have already signed up on our schedule to come to our big 3-day event, Bankroll Your Brainpower Wealth Summit. We've had to change that date due to hotel conflicts and my speaking schedule conflicts, but that event, mark your calendars, April 17th, 18th, and 19th. That'll be a Friday evening from 6 to 10, Saturday from 8 to 5, Sunday 8 to 4. That's a 2.5 day, we'll call it, event. And man, do we go into depth there. Some extremely good money-making ideas have come out of those 3-day live events. We've done them in the past. Now, that one's not free, but if you're interested in coming to that, you send me an email, Doug@brainapples.com, And because you're a Bankroll Mastermind member, you'll get a hell of a discount. Heck of a discount, 50% actually. And I'll give you all the details. So send me an email about that if you want to make that event. Now, we've got some people I know coming from Chicago, coming from St. Louis, coming from the event I was at in Dallas for that 3-day event. So we're going to have a lot of people there. And one of the good things about that is people share with each other and help each other at that event. Don't count on just me for some of the best help, to be honest with you. Some of it comes from our attendees that have tremendously good ideas, and that's a real good thing. All right, I'm going to, if you don't have any questions real quick here, I'm going to start into basics. And the 2 basics we're going to cover tonight, the first one is the biggest secret source of money-making ideas that we teach. If you remember what that is, type it into the chat box there, or send me a text with what that is. I'm going to pop it up here on the screen in just a second if I can get my computer to work, which it doesn't seem to want to do. I don't want to go through these slides one at a time. See if I can get this to, here we go. Anybody remember what that biggest source? We've got 130 some now, people that are making more than $10,000 a year more. And of course, that's just where we start. There's some making a ton more than that. But 130 some that are making at least $10,000 a year more from their ideas that they've trained their brain to generate for them, and we've helped them turn into money-making ideas. And about 93 or 94 of those ideas have come from, that's right, the USA Today newspaper. And I thought we'd spend some time tonight. We've got a small group. There's a ton of stuff going on everywhere. And Valentine's Day is this weekend, which is my anniversary, by the way. I love my wife. She says, let's not go out on Saturday night. It'll be too crowded everywhere. I said, well, okay. I was planning on taking you out for a $200 dinner, honey, but if you don't want to go. So we got a small group, so I thought we'd go back to basics, and if you have questions, certainly throw them at me, and we'll try to get them answered for you. Let me just check email real quick. Okay. 90 some of those ideas originated in the USA Today newspaper. And still more going. I read that newspaper nearly every day. Of course, you know, it doesn't come out on the weekends, which is fine with me. But let's talk about some things you can do based on brain science so that when you read the USA Today newspaper, your brain is going to trigger some money-making ideas. And then I'm going to give you a homework assignment. USA Today, of course, as almost all newspapers are, a little bit left-leaning, and as we're finding out with this Brian Williams thing, they don't always totally tell the truth, but we're not reading the newspaper for the news, which is the good news. We're reading the newspaper looking for what people want or need. Write that down. If you want to train your brain to come up with money-making ideas, what you are looking for are things that people want or need. And one of the ways, unbelievably, you can train your brain to do that for you automatically is to follow some of the steps you've probably heard from me before, or you've read in our books or you've listened to in our CDs, but I want to emphasize 4 or 5 of the brain training steps that focus right in on bringing you money-making ideas from the newspaper. Step 1. You might want to chat these down because I'd have to jump around this PowerPoint thing all over the place to get you these important ones. So you may want to write them down. If you're listening to this on a recording, quickly grab a pencil or a pen and write these things down. But step 1, and this is for everything we teach, is called supersize your greeting. Step 1 is supersize your greeting. From this day forward, every person you meet is greeted with what I call a positive greeting. None of this, oh, I'm okay. Not half bad. I'm good. Bull crap. It is okay to force yourself to say, I'm fantastic or I'm fabulous. Because if you do that for 30 days, guess what? Your brain will believe it automatically. Don't have time not to go into the details, but that's the way the brain works. They've proven it. So from this day forward, everybody you meet, you greet them with a positive greeting. Now, positive means not bad is a positive greeting, but it's only a half positive greeting. Not is in there. You remember, if you've read my books and have studied this at all, the brain, 5/6 of your brain cannot distinguish between real and imagined, truth or a lie. So if you tell yourself not to do something, 5/6 of your brain can't distinguish that you don't want yourself to do that, and it sees a perfect picture of doing exactly that. And if you remember, my classic example is if you pour a glass of milk for your toddler and say, oh, Jimmy, whatever you do, don't spill the milk. You have just created the chances of 5 out of 6 that that's exactly what they will do, is spill that milk. So you can't say it that way. It's got to be a positive. Wow, Jimmy, that's a full glass of milk. So hold it with 2 hands, and as you drink it, look at the bottom of the glass and hold it tight till you see the bottom of the glass. There's nothing negative about that picture. So your greeting now must, from this day forward, make a commitment right now to make that a positive to everyone you meet, even when you feel like crap. Because the reverse is true. You know that. What if somebody comes up to you at work and says, are you feeling okay, Doug? You don't look so good. What happens? You start questioning how you feel. Hey, I got an email I see. That little guy. I don't know if he's on your screen. He was on mine. So let's go. Oh, it's coming in on the wrong computer. Doggone it. I thought I had that set up for the other one, but let's... Oh, it's my friend Connie. We'll come back to that. Let's see if I can pop up her email. She couldn't join us tonight, hoping for a replay. I'll give her a replay. Connie from Chicago. Cool. All right. I'm going to have to shut this. Hang on one second. I'm going to have to close this out so my emails come in on the other. There we go. Email program. All right, so step 1 is supersize your greeting. Now, let's go to step 2. Now, these aren't the 16 Brain Apples techniques or the 12 Bankroll Your Brainpower techniques all in a row. These are the specific ones that relate to training your brain to come up with money-making ideas. When you read the newspaper, specifically what we're talking about right now. So the second thing I want you to do is called pave your inner states. And what this is affirmations, or what Tony Robbins calls incantations. Jack Canfield calls them affirmations. I pretty much call them affirmations with a brain science twist, because I always explain why affirmations work. And what you are to do is you are to generate, and this is a part of your homework, you are to generate 2 affirmations, whether you consciously believe them or not, that indicate you are tremendous at recognizing what people want or need. One of your affirmations, you form the language. I might say something like, I am tremendous at noticing what people want or need just by listening to them talk, or just by reading the article in the newspaper and the comments regarding that article. Something like that. And then, well, let me give you the second one. The second one is an affirmation, and remember, it doesn't matter whether you consciously believe it or not, because 5/6 of your brain will believe it, even if you don't consciously believe it yet. The second affirmation is, my brain is tremendous at creating money-making ideas. 2 affirmations like that. You put it in your own words, in writing, and then you are to say those affirmations out loud in front of a mirror at least 3 times a day. Why in front of a mirror? Long explanation, cut short, because that generates emotion. And step 3 is you must do your affirmations after you trigger a thunderstorm. Number 3 is trigger a thunderstorm. Number 2 is pave your interstates. Number 1 is supersize your greeting forever. Triggering a thunderstorm, if you remember it or have studied it yet, goes back to the fact that the scientists have learned that if you're studying for an exam or you want to remember somebody's name, they learned from brain science that if you are highly emotionally charged when you are learning something, the connections that you're forming are stronger, longer lasting, there are more of them, and your firing threshold is lowered. When I say your firing threshold is lowered, that means it more easily, readily is fired, which means more easily recalled. In other words, you will remember it better. That's vital that you trigger a thunderstorm before you repeat these affirmations. How do you trigger a thunderstorm? It's very simple. You do it artificially. Before you do your interstates, sit down and think about something from your past that was very emotional, and that'll get you charged up emotionally. Sometimes I think about my daughter's wedding when I walked her down the aisle. Man, that was emotional. Sometimes I just listen to music, a song. Songs can be very, very emotional. Sometimes I think about when we lost my father in an auto accident when I was just a teenager. Doesn't matter whether it's good or bad. When you generate emotion like that, what happens in your brain is your brain releases proteins across the synapses that are firing, and proteins are the brain's fertilizer. They make the connection stronger and longer lasting. You know it's true, even if you didn't know the brain science of it till now, because think back to something very emotional in your past. It's a very vivid memory, isn't it? Like where you were, if you're old fart like me, where you were when John F. Kennedy was shot, or when the Challenger shuttle disaster happened. Because those things were automatically emotional, so those memories stick very strongly. Or watching the birth of your first child, whatever. Step 1, supersize your greeting. Step 2, pave your interstates. And we're being specific here relative to training your brain to believe that it is fantastic at recognizing what people want or need, and then bringing you ideas automatically to give it to them. And number 3, of course, is trigger a thunderstorm. All right. When you've done that for many days, actually, then you start reading the USA Today newspaper. Why the USA Today versus a local one? That's a good question. I just feel the USA Today, all of their news items and articles are what I would call cursory. You know, they just scratch the surface. There's not a whole lot of in-depth stuff in the USA Today like you would find in the Wall Street Journal or something like that. So I use the USA Today and I read it cover to cover in a very highly charged emotional state, but I'm never looking for the news. I look at every article from this question. Is this article going to tell me something that people want or need that they don't have? You tell yourself that, folks, it's going to happen for you. You remember, if you've come to any of our Marketing for Millions events, or maybe if you're a contractor and you were in my class, this is one of my examples. If I had to, well, I won't search for that slide because I'm going to need the next slide to show you. But we have had a Marketing for Millions in Orlando 2 years ago, and the 19-year-old daughter of a contractor was there, and we at that one-day event, and if you come to either our event in West Palm on March 7th or our event in Ocala on March 14th or our 3-day event in April, the Bankroll Your Brainpower Wealth Summit in Orlando on the 17th, 18th, and 19th of April, we will do some practice sessions with a whole stack of USA Today newspapers where you can practice that. And we had an event in Orlando, and the 19-year-old daughter, her name is Amanda Elliott, she came to that seminar with her grandmother. Her dad, the contractor, couldn't come. He had a project he had to get done. And they came, and right on the front page of the USA Today at that seminar was an article. I don't remember exactly what it said, but essentially it said all car seats, nearly all car seats fail the national safety standards. And the article went on to say that no car seats built in the United States pass the national safety standards. There were only a couple that did pass the standards, and neither one of those were from the United States. And even though there were 2 that did pass, they were finding out that a lot of times those car seats failed and a child was injured in an accident because they weren't installed properly. Well, now just think about it with me. If you've trained your brain to be really good at recognize things that people want or need, you right now may be able to come up with an idea of something that could be done to fulfill that want or need. Because it should be obvious to everybody on this webinar that the parents of toddlers want safe car seats. But you see, don't overthink it. Let's go on with this example because this is a good one. Let me see if I can get this thing to work here while I'm talking. You don't want to put yourself into an extremely difficult situation. I don't know what the crap is wrong with this thing. I'm pressing escape to try to get out of the slideshow, and it's real slow reacting because I want to go to a different slide. I don't think it's very far away. Maybe I'll go to the real way. Let's see here. Let me pass over this guy's success story. That was really great. There's Amanda. A couple years ago, she was 19. Nearly all child restraint car seats fail national safety standards. Now, of course, your brain could come up with an idea saying, Oh, well, let's build a safer car seat. No, 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 no. That's work. You need all these experts. You need a manufacturer. You need this. You need an engineer. You need a safety expert. No. There are 8 categories of things. Let me see if it's, yeah, here it is. 8 categories of ideas. You need to train your brain to look for money-making ideas in one of these 8 categories. I call this your passion wheel. Because the second secret for coming up with money-making ideas is, what are you passionate about? But these are the same 8 things that you can come up with an idea for from reading the USA Today. You can come up with an idea for a book, for an e-book, an electronic book, which is the biggest selling thing there is right now, short of T-shirts, because it's so simple. You don't have to have a printed or published or any of that. It's all electronic, and you put it up on Amazon. You can develop a CD series, or that's audio, or a DVD video series. You can do coaching or mentoring on your idea. You can create a physical product. But, you know, put an asterisk beside physical product there, because, you know, some of the physical product ideas are very complex. And then you got to deal with engineering, you got to deal with manufacturing, you got to deal with shipping, you got to deal with returns, you got to deal with liability issues. So physical products I would not target as number 1. So when she saw that headline that car seats aren't so safe, you know, one thing could have been, oh, let's build a safer car seat. No, why don't we write a book on the safest car seat for your toddler and how to install it properly? And you never, ever, ever write this down. You never let the fact that you don't know what you're doing ever keep you from doing it. Not with Brainpower. I think you saw it back there on the slide with Amanda. We referred her to elance.com, ELANCE.com, and she hired an expert off of Elance to write that book for her. 6 experts bid on writing that book, if you can believe it. And to get that book written, to finish the story real quickly, cost her, I think, $950. She made a contract with Amazon. They would promote the book. They would sell the electronic book on Kindle. And for that, they take, I think, 30-some%, maybe 35% of the selling price, and they send you the rest to a PayPal account or bank account. And she's been averaging about $900 a month in net sales to her. Physical product, seminars and workshops, recurring income, I'll come back to that in a minute. Digital downloads, my brain training system is all on digital downloads now, because I travel all over the country and I don't want to have to take a huge suitcase full of CDs or DVDs with me. I just want to take a little flash drive with all the links on it to the digital downloads of the audio files and the video files. Whoa, that's much simpler, isn't it? But recurring income, you know what? Write yourself a note about this one if you haven't written down all 8 of these. Recurring income is growing, growing, growing. It's knocking on the door of electronic books, and probably down the road is going to be knocking on the door of T-shirts as the hottest way to make money on the internet. Recurring income is monthly income, subscription, where you provide something every month and they sign up for a year or they sign up for 6 months. So you've got a certain amount of income coming in every month. That is way, way cool. In fact, you're going to see that in action real soon with me. I am in the process of preparing a for money subscription service or mastermind service or detailed service where the subscribers will pay a given amount per month, and I'll provide them tremendous value for that every month, and that way I can generate monthly income. You know, you don't have that big roller coaster ride up and down. 1 month you make a lot, 1 month you make nothing, and so on. Comes in every month. So have you written those 8 down? What we teach in our system is a second way you can come up with a money-making idea besides a newspaper, and you should have this. Maybe you should snap a picture of this with your cell phone, or if you can't do that, send me an email. I'll send you a copy of this. Maybe you should have that beside you when you're reading a newspaper. Kind of glance over at it as you're reading the articles in a newspaper. And that's telling your brain to bring you an idea. In fact, that's a real good idea. And I just want to show you this. You may have already heard about this, but one of our students couldn't come up with any money-making ideas. He followed our program, and he couldn't come up with an idea. And I was talking to him on the phone one day, and he was totally frustrated. He hadn't come up with an idea. And I said, well, why don't you come on up to the farm, bring your wife, we'll ride the horses and talk about it. He says, well, I'd love to, but we can't this weekend. I said, why not? He said, we're going to Atlanta. I said, what for? He said, dogfight competition. I thought he meant pit bulls. What he meant was a big dummy. His hobby was building these model airplanes. He's in the back row of that picture on the, as you look at it, the right end with a red hat on with that twin fuselage plane. That's Mike Sullivan. And he goes all over the Southeast. They build these airplanes. They cost thousands of dollars to build these things, and then they go to these rallies or competitions or whatever you call them, where one of the things they do is they put streamers on the back of these things, and they go up in the air and have a dogfight with each other trying to cut off the other guy's streamer. And he goes all over the place to do this. Sometimes there's 100 people there, sometimes there's 50, and I'm listening to this crap and getting madder and madder that he's telling me he can't come up with an idea to make money. Mike, recurring income. Is there a newsletter going out to all these people that are interested in this? He said, no, I never thought of that. So he came up with a newsletter called the Dogfighter Digest. I think he changed the name because of Michael Vick, but he's got over 1,200 subscribers. He doesn't charge them enough. He's a crazy man. He does not charge enough. I think they'd pay $15 for this newsletter. It tells the results of the last competitions. It's got a place where people can exchange, where they can buy and sell airplane parts and motors and wings and wheels and all that stuff. He only charges $4.77 a month. But you do the math. 1,200 times $5 a month. That's $6,000 a month for something he spends maybe 4 hours preparing. Are you kidding me? Recurring income is way good. If you have a hobby, we've got another student over in Tampa, down in Tampa, a wife of a contractor that loves organic gardening. And interestingly, they live in the city in the concrete jungle. They don't have a backyard to turn into a garden. So she put these, 2x4 squares filled with topsoil and grows all organic things in her garden, herbs and all that stuff. And organic gardening is hot right now. So she puts out a newsletter, forget what she calls herself, I think the Concrete Organic Gardener, maybe. I'm not sure. But she's got like 400 subscribers, and she charges them $10 a month. Do the math. That's called recurring income. That's a great way to make money. All right, so hopefully you got those 8 things written down. Those are the steps you would use in reading a newspaper. Now, one other little hint about the newspaper before we jump over to Facebook. I want to talk a little bit about Facebook. Holy cow, where does the time go? My goodness. One other thought. do not skip over the ads. Do not skip over the ads in the newspaper. Go ahead and read the ads as well. We've had a couple guys come up with ideas for money-making ideas by reading ads. I think, here it is. These guys, Rick and Dave, they're from down in Fort Myers, Lee County area. They saw an ad, I think it was secondhandgolfballs.com, that was in the USA Today. They both scuba dive, they both play golf, and it gave them an idea for a golf ball retrieval company. And we helped them a little bit with that because my son is a general manager and head professional at a golf course up in Tallahassee that's managed by, well, then it was Billy Casper Golf. Now it's a different golf course management company. And we helped get them some contracts with golf courses. And, of course, being in construction law, it was a no-brainer for me. I said, you know, they were worried, well, all these golf courses already have contracts. Yeah, well, do they all give a kickback to the golf course? You know, I learned that from contractors, right? Do they all give a cash kickback to the golf course? Oh, I don't know. Well, give them a kickback. So they retrieved 1.5 million golf balls. I think they get 21 cents a ball. They give 7 cents to the golf course. They keep 14 cents a ball. Whatever that is times 1.5 million, I don't know, but it's 6 figures. You would not catch me ever doing that because, yeah, they got alligators in them ponds. All right. Let me knock that down, and I want to show you a few things about Facebook. I went... two things. I went to a live seminar on Facebook about Facebook, and then just night before last, I was on a webinar just like we are here about how to make money using Facebook. And you guys, it is becoming phenomenal as a way to make money in the use of Facebook. Now, what I just popped up on the screen there, and I can see we're not going to have time to do a whole lot, but I want to give you some basics here, and then I'll tell you what we got coming up that you guys will get a heck of a deal on. Let me see if I can get these slides. Here we go. This is my fan page for my brain training called the Brain Training Guy. Now you can see right here I've got 27,591 people who have liked this page. You know, a couple years ago that was a big deal. It's not such a big deal anymore. The reason it's not such a big deal anymore, back then, Facebook, if you posted something on your Facebook fan page, and if you are in construction, you own a business, a hair salon, or anything you do, step one, you've got to have a Facebook fan page for it. You have got to. Or you are leaving so much money on the table, it's unbelievable. Now, 2-3 years ago, because I had 20-some likes or people that clicked like on my page, you know, you see that all the time, that thumbs up thing. Hey, like us on Facebook. But it's not a big deal anymore. You know why? Because Facebook has gotten so big that they no longer show what you post to all of the people who like you. If I posted something right now, I would be lucky if 1,000 of these 27,000 people got to see it. Yep, that's all they do. Let me see if I got one down here that I posted. Yeah, looky here. Well, I don't know if you can see this, but I posted something here, and only 779 people saw it. That's crazy, out of 20-some thousand. So you're not going to make money. I don't care if you got 200,000 fans on your Facebook page. Posting to your fan page is a lot of work. You got to sit there and type something in, something cute or a link to a video or something about your business or pictures of your kitchens that you remodel. 3 years ago, that would have been tremendous. You would have reached 80, 90, or 100% of your fans. Guess how many it is today with what's called an organic post, meaning you didn't pay Facebook anything for it. 2 to 4%. That's all. Can't make any money with that. So what Facebook has done, and you can't really blame them for it, is they said, hey, you want to reach more of your fans? You got to pay us. You got to pay us. So the majority of people, listen to this or write it down if you want to, because we're going to come up with a program that gets into great detail about this. The majority of people with successful online businesses today, these days, are using Facebook ads. They're putting ads on Facebook. I don't know if you can see it here because it's small, but right over here is one of my ads. See your ad here for my book, Do-It-Yourself Brain Surgery. But I'd have to pay them to post that there, which is fine if it works. Now let me go back up here towards the top. You see this right here? This is something I posted on my Facebook fan page, but it is an ad right in what's called the news feed of that page. Hey, want to learn the secret brain research-based 9-step brain booster blueprint to bankroll your brain power? Well, that's a lot of B's. It's a PDF and it's free. Click here. Now, I had to pay Facebook to show that to more people. In fact, if you can see it here, I paid for 7,544 people to see that. Now, that's pretty cost effective because 7,544 people saw that, and I believe that cost me either $20 or $40, I forget which. And so the average cost per person who saw that was 2 cents. Now that's good. And if they went to this page, what you do is you post a link and send them somewhere else. Write this down. Do not sell whatever you have to sell, whether it's your money-making idea, your business, your construction business, your beauty shop, whatever it is. Do not sell it directly from your news feed or your fan page. People don't buy based on that historically. You have to send them somewhere else. Now I'm going to click on my link and show you what I mean. It's going to take them over to this website. And my video is going to pop up. I'm going to freeze it there. You don't need to listen to me talk. I'm really glad you found this web page. Okay. Can't keep my eyes open. There we go. Look, you take them. What this is called is a lead page or a squeeze page or an opt-in page. Call it whatever you want. But the way you make money is you must, I don't care if you're selling guns, ammunition, toys, products, you're doing consulting, or you're a real estate professional, on and on and on. you've got Facebook ads work, but you've got to take them off of Facebook to what I call a squeeze page. Called a squeeze page because you want them to watch this little 3-minute video, follow that arrow, and I squeeze their name and email out of them for a free report. And you might write yourself a note. Give them more. If you're going to give them a free report or free information or free knowledge about something, give them more than you tell them you're going to give them. Over deliver. Over deliver. I give them that 9-step brain booster blueprint, and then I also give them a video that goes with it that explains it. But what am I getting? I'm getting their email address, which is gold, because then I build an email list and I market to them through that email list. You must touch your customer, and I don't mean physically touch, I mean have communication with them 5 to 7 times before they're going to buy from you. That's why you should never try to sell directly from your Facebook fan page. It's not going to work. If that's the first time they've ever been to your Facebook page, they're not likely to buy at all. So we've developed, through trial and error, to be honest with you, a 7-step process to put this all together. And we're going to, I'm letting a secret cat out of the bag here, a big announcement that we're going to put on a series of webinars that are not so much mastermind like tonight, but they get right down to the exact nitty-gritty of how you do this over a series of weeks. And of course, we can't do that for free, but because you're in our Bankroll Mastermind, you're going to get one heck of a deal for that, especially if you want to learn to market on Facebook. And I'm telling you, it is phenomenal. I'm learning that. And then the 7-step process, I'll tell you what one of the steps are. This is very, very important. It's called split test. Split test. When I sent out that, let me go over here. When I created this ad, I split tested. In other words, I put another ad up, this same picture, brains are awesome, but I think I added a couple more things into that picture. I think I put a couple pictures of brains in a test tube. And I changed the wording up here. Interesting. And then I spent the same amount of money. And I tested it for 2 days. And what I found was that the other ad, not this one, but the other one, I wasn't getting nearly the click-throughs. And it was costing me like 52 cents per click-through, where this one was costing me 2 cents per click-through. Hello? That's the power of split testing. Saved me a ton of money. I canned that other ad and went with this one. Then you could test it again for another couple days. I'll never forget years ago, back when pay per click was big, for that book of wedding vows. You know, on Google, you could put in an ad that would show up on Google if somebody typed in book on writing my own wedding vows or something. And you'd be in that list, and you wanted to be near the top of that list back when pay-per-click mattered. It doesn't anymore because of Facebook. And my headline in that ad read at one point, write your own beautiful wedding vows. And then I decided to split test it, and all I did was add one word, write your own beautiful wedding vows tonight, exclamation point. Guess what? that got me 3 times the sales. So split testing, constantly testing the wording, the picture, the placing of the picture is extremely important as a part of your Facebook advertising. And here's something else that a lot of people don't know about Facebook. If you're placing an ad, now you can put in an ad and write it up, or you can put a post and then you can do what's called boost your post or promote your post. Let's see if I got one of those here. See this? This was not for me to make money. You know, sometimes you got to put things up that are very emotional or very interesting just because they are, to gain the trust of your audience. And this is oh my gosh. You might want to go to Brain Training Guy when we get done here and go watch this video. It just blew me away. I had tears in my eyes. My wife's bawling like a baby when she watched this video. It is so good. It's only a couple minutes. But you see this right down here? I hope you can see it. Oops, it already took me to it. I didn't mean to click on it that fast. If you click on this, if you post something on your fan page, you can boost that post. In other words, you can, let me click on it there. You can tell Facebook, isn't it nice of them to suggest that I spend $200? Kiss my grits. You know, you can make that $2 if you want to, or $10, whatever. And then you will boost the exposure of that ad to your people. Now, here comes the biggie. And gosh darn it, we're going to have to wrap it up here. Let's say you boost a post. Did you know that you then can tell, look right up here, you can then tell Facebook exactly who the only people are that you want to see that ad? Do you want it to only go to people who like your page, which is my suggestion, and I'll teach you why in our training program? Do you want it to only go to people who like your page or their friends? That's a much bigger audience. Or do you want to totally choose who you want it to go to based on targeting? Oh my gosh, you guys, targeting is so powerful. Because then the only people that see your ad are people who are totally interested in what you have. Like right here, targeting. I can target people who have liked something to do with brain training. I can target people who have liked Jack Canfield. You know, he's in a category of people in personal development, which is my marketplace, isn't it? And John Osseroff, who uses a lot of my stuff. And I don't know if you can read that little stuff, but I checked off internet marketing for newbies to get that ad if they like that, or memory improvement. You can totally specifically target who the only people you want to see that ad or the boost of that post. And, you know, it's like having, if you're a pizza parlor, it's like having the Yellow Pages and you're the only thing in them. A pizza parlor. You don't have to compete with the massage parlors, the lawyers, and the window replacement people and everybody else. You're totally targeting those who would be likely to be interested in what you have. And man, does that make your advertising extremely cost effective. It is phenomenal. And we're going to go into great detail in our training session on how to use Facebook down the road. That's going to be like a 6 or 8 hour series for you. All right. Apologize, I didn't get nearly as far as I wanted to tonight, but we got another, I forgot to tell you, I think our next Mastermind in March mark your calendars. It's going to be Wednesday, March the 4th. And then don't forget, if you're in the West Palm Beach, Boca, or Fort Lauderdale, or that entire area down there, Palm Beach County, Broward County, March the 7th, Marketing for Millions all-day seminar. March the 14th, all-day seminar here in Ocala. And then absolutely mark your calendar. More details to come on our big 3-day event, April 17th, 18th, and 19th. That is going to be phenomenal. That's in Orlando, out by the airport. Be real convenient. All right, everybody. I sure appreciate you being with us tonight. I hope that helped. Goodness, we got more people on here now than we did when we started. That's good. I didn't bore anybody. I like that. We have recorded this. We will send out the recording to you. And remember, even if you can't make one of these, be sure to register anyway. Oh, hi, Joni. Hi, Brad. Be sure to register anyway so you can get the recording. We only send it to people who registered. And man, well, of course, I'm preaching to the choir. You guys registered, but if somebody didn't register, they're not going to get the recording. All right. Send me your comments if you got some tonight about what we went over. Hope it was helpful. Doug at brainapples.com. Send them there. And we will be sending you some emails in the next few weeks about the training we're going to be having. And we'd love to have you guys attend it. And, of course, it's not going to be very expensive for you. All right. And, man, oh, man, will it be worth it, because you will, one, learn how to market what you have through Facebook, and two, you'll learn how to do it for the least amount of money, which is what we're after, isn't it? The biggest bang for your buck. All right. I appreciate y'all being here. And if you haven't done so yet, hop on over to howtobankrollyourbrainpower.com and watch that little 3-minute video, because I'll have a free report to send you, or a Brain Booster Blueprint if you don't have that, plus a little surprise with it. All right, everybody. Have a great night. Great Valentine's Day. Don't forget flowers and stuff for Valentine's Day. No chocolate. None of that crap. Healthy stuff. And we'll talk to you again real soon. Love y'all. Have a great night.